All
here. So
right. Well, I guess as a group, we decided we're going to talk about dogfish and do the three thought exercises. But anybody want to start it off?
okay, Porter's five forces. Analyze dogfish head competitive environment using the five forces of competition model. So the threat of new entrants would be moderate because there's a relatively low barrier to entry compared to the mainstream beer industry.
I agree. I agree. It could go like medium to high, but I'd say like rivalries definitely pretty hard because they also got to sit there and compete against. I mean, hell, like the other option, what is it? Anheuser. They gotta compete against them. So the top dogs, and like I said in the movie, it's like you also have to compete for shelf. Like,
Mhm.
uh,
Oh yeah, that was cool.
yeah, it's like it's crazy. Like these people going in and then like basically taking control of the aisles, the beer aisles, and grocery stores and gas stations and stuff like that. And like people come over, take your signs down and stuff like that. So competition's like extremely high. I believe, especially when you got like Bud Light being like taking up a whole section of a store, and then like for a smaller place like Dogfish, like they literally have like two little spaces to put like a 12 pack, and so it's
Yeah,
really hard for them, I guess, to compete.
I feel like it's harder to compete when you're a smaller company because you have to compete with more smaller companies. Like the big companies only really kind of have to mainly compete with like each other. Like,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah, but
they
when the
obviously still
smaller
have
ones,
to like compete, but it's not like,
yeah, but then the smaller ones have to compete. I guess you could say like smaller ones just compete against the smaller ones, but in
yeah.
my opinion, it's not really the case because like what was it? That girl came out with a
Yeah.
caffeinated beer, and then Anheuser just like saw that and then developed their own caffeinated one when she was like, "What?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, the small ones definitely have to compete against the whole industry, and then the big ones just is probably like the top three. That's really the only threats those have, but.
Didn't the same thing happen to Dogfish Head too? Like he had a pumpkin flavor and then
Hmm.
he got that notice saying that he couldn't use the word anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah. Pumpkin.
yeah.
That's messed up.
What would y'all say for substitute products? So like, I feel like that would be well.
That would be like
I feel like
wine. That's what I think. Like
yeah,
wine,
no, I agree. Yeah, like wine and stuff. So like,
spirits.
I feel like at some point you could say it's low because they're really just making beer. But then again, I mean, every now and then, I mean, they're competing with all alcoholic beverages and like seltzers, stuff like that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
huge now.
yeah, because I was on a seltzer swing like two spring breaks ago. So like. I feel like the substitute products, I feel like it could be medium. Yeah, White
I
Claw
wrote
was
that
winning
they
the
were
game for a
high.
while, but
What was I gonna say?
um,
Oh, do y'all remember the percentage of the market that Anheuser-Busch had? Was it like 80% at a certain point?
yeah, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um, that was substitute buyer and supplier power.
For
How do y'all feel about that?
buyers, for buyers, I put high. For suppliers, I put moderate.
Well, it's buyer power is definitely. I completely agree. It's definitely high, just because. I mean, they're the ones that they have so many different options to choose from. I mean, they have the power to control like the success of these people, especially dog or what is it, dogfish,
Doghead.
doghead, yeah, whatever, yeah. But yeah, I feel like the buyers definitely have like or determine the success, obviously for sales.
Wasn't it also that Dogfish Head, like his beer was a lot more expensive compared to I don't know how to say it, Anheuser?
Yeah, yeah,
It was like
Yeah.
four times the price just because his overhead is so much more. So he
hmm
has to.
yeah. But I guess his like marketing strength, I guess, would be like what you're putting into your body as well, like the ingredients that goes into like making his beer.
And the
Uh, like
flavor.
yeah, the flavor And even like they were saying the ingredients, like I guess I'd like and put it in this perspective, like Anheuser's like the McDonald's, and then like Dogfish is like a nice restaurant. I mean, it's like quality food, quality ingredients going in the beer, and then they're just trying to make like bulk beer is what Anheuser's doing.
Hmm.
But um elements of the external environment that represent long-term risk for Dogfish Head. Um
So
long-term
I
risk.
put, yeah, so long term, I put obviously increasing competition.
Yep.
It's highly competitive, especially with new breweries constantly entering the market.
Yep.
Changing consumer preferences. There's always going to be shifts in preferences towards other types of beverages,
Yep.
especially like changing like your taste, like flavors, styles, packaging, whatever. Um, Obviously, like economic factors. I don't know if anyone else wants to pitch in.
Yeah, I'd definitely say that. And like I feel like also a risk would be like um for like Dogfish, it'd be like Anheuser, they'd go and buy out like the small breweries. Like they'd literally go and buy them out. And I feel like that could be a risk too. I thought that was crazy because I mean like they're just taking over what was it? Somebody said 80% of the market is what they had. Like it's ridiculous.
And
Yep.
then they also like started selling something without like their name on it.
Yeah.
They put like it was like a brewery in California, but it was actually just them. Like they were trying to seem like small.
Like they take it over, but then they're the ones behind it.
Yeah, there is that, and then yeah, yeah.
And also, hold on, I was going to say something. I forgot. Oh yeah, regulatory changes. Because what was it called? Because they had their fingers like so far in politics, they were basically controlling all of it and the regulations. Like there was that one point in the movie where they had a whole stack of all of the regulations that everyone had to follow.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
And it changes all the time. They can change whatever they want because they have so much control over it. The big players.
What would y'all say the opportunities would be? I feel like opportunities for growth would be like quality like over their competitors. I feel like just different usage of like ingredients. I don't know. I feel like the smaller breweries like Dogfish or whatever, it's just like I feel like if I were to buy that, I'm buying it because like it's like a nicer beer, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
So consumer preferences.
Yeah, I feel like preference to like wanting quality over, I guess, just like sitting there trying to get drunk.
So it's definitely like a pro or a con. They're at the whim of consumer preferences. Like
Yeah.
if people are favoring seltzers, beer's going to go down. If people are favoring craft beers are going to do better than mass produced.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's see. Does anybody else have anything to add about the opportunities?
Innovation, new product development.
I could say, I mean, like opportunity for growth would be like starting to make more beer, like more quantity and like bulk items. I feel like that there could be like opportunity of growth to compete with like obviously they're not going to ever be on the same scale as the top three. Like I feel like they could also compete with them in that because they also have they were saying like yeah at the beginning of the movie one of the smaller local breweries they had like the barrel he made the barrel but he has to like I guess also an opportunity would be like more equipment, like you said, innovation and stuff like that, to be able to make a lot more beer because like hell he was stirring beer in a barrel at his house. Like what? So I mean, I feel like there's definitely opportunities for growth there.
Yeah, I think one of the guys he said like they're not making as much as like they could because of like I think it was Dogfish.
Yeah.
Like
I
he
know
could
they
be
talked
making,
about it.
yeah, he could be selling more, but he doesn't have like the resources basically.
Yeah.
Or there was also another guy that said he could be selling more, but like for quality control to keep up the quality he has, he's not going to
He
risk.
doesn't want to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I feel like he should just know he's not gonna be as big as them then.
Yeah. Kind of the same as McDonald's or whatever. It was like the quality, and they didn't want to like franchise it at the beginnings, but no.
Yeah.
So I guess for the next one, so we're going to core competencies for Dogfish. Is that right? That's the next one.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would you say the resources would be?
I mean,
Probably. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say their brand doesn't have that much of a pull yet, but it's still technically, actually, it's not even intellectual property because they got told to not use pumpkin anymore. So
Yep.
they don't really have intellectual property power.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead, Emily. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was gonna say that. Like to talk about their brand.
Yeah. Their brewing
I mean, I
facility
guess, yeah, and their ingredients.
is unique to them for sure.
Yeah. I guess maybe their tap rooms and like the retail outlets that they have. Like, if I remember correctly, they did have like their own like pub, right? Or am I
Uh,
thinking of something different?
You're talking about like the warehouse? What do you mean?
Like after to hang out.
Yeah.
I think that was maybe one of the like bigger ones. But maybe
You
I'm wrong.
sure?
I could be wrong. Because I know one of them had like a workout place and then the other one was like the
Hmm.
bar or whatever.
I think that was Bud Light that had the
Mm.
workout or whatever, the gym and. But okay, resources. I guess we said no to intellectual property. Their brand is not all that much there. Human capital, they have their employees. Yeah, I think we covered everything. We can move on to their capabilities.
Make beer.
I mean, they definitely have a standard for quality
Yeah.
that they're
Well,
not going to.
I feel like that's their competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Is quality. That's like the whole for all small breweries is literally quality and flavor. Because I think was it Dogfish, the owner, he said something about calling like Anheuser-Busch, like obviously all the beer they make is like horse piss. Or something like he said he'd like put it back up a horse is what he is that's what they said in the movie. I'm being serious. That's what they said. But because I thought that was funny, I got a little laugh out of that. But yeah, I definitely say the competitive advantage is quality and capable of making quality beer, high quality beer.
Innovation and creativity. They looked like they had a lot of like special flavors.
Yeah.
Yeah, like chocolate.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I tried it, I still won't like it. Passion. They're like really passionate about it.
True. I guess passion could also translate into like their expertise. But that goes right back to what you said, Jackson, about how quality is what distinguishes them.
Yep. Core competencies.
I feel like it's just the same.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, I feel like the resources and capabilities are their competencies is making high quality beer and like
Ooh, maybe like loyal customers.
Mhm.
Yeah, local people. Yeah,
Yeah. And then maybe they can like spread the word.
I think they have a lot of culture at their company.
yeah. No, I agree.
Um,
Well, yeah, that's definitely what you get with like a lot smaller scale companies in all like industries, really.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And then we said the competitive advantage is obviously quality over quantity. And with the like numerous amount of flavors that they offer and the high quality ingredients in comparison to like the big producers.
Oh, one thing that I think is their competitive advantage, but they kind of have to do it out of necessity, is how they go directly to consumers. Like they go to those tasting rooms and they're
Oh yeah,
having a whole presentation. I don't think we saw any examples of the bigger companies doing that.
no,
So they're definitely like they have their ear more to consumer preferences, but it is technically out of necessity.
no.
Yeah, and they went to that like convention, but then the the bigger companies were also there. So
I guess
um,
you want to move to the last one.
Yeah.
stakeholders,
Yeah, stakeholders.
the
Um,
investors, workers,
Employees.
yeah,
investors,
customers.
workers, owners, anybody who purchases their beer. Um, yeah, I feel like it's pretty broad or it's the same for everybody.
Did we say
Uh,
owners and investors? I think we
yeah,
did.
customers. I guess people who enjoy beer and everybody. I feel like their target is yeah, they're I feel like the target is literally everybody like in the world, if that makes sense. It
Mm,
really
children.
up. Oh,
Anyone
I
who's
mean
able to
21
drink
and up, obviously,
alcohol.
but like obviously 21 and up, but I feel like their like market of customers is
I feel
very
like it's
it wants to be very broad.
like American. Well,
Yeah, I feel
I
like
just
it can be very broad, but also I feel like the dogfish, um, they definitely are more like I feel like target basically like the neighborhood and community that they're in,
yeah.
um, and like the locals. But yeah, they're also trying to globalize their beer and brand as well. So I feel like it's basically everybody.
Yeah, that was the core issue, right? Is the big companies had like watered it down so much and made it
Yep,
so easy to drink to appeal to a much broader audience. And
yep,
so that's what the craft beer companies, that's where they could get their edge.
yep. Needs that are satisfied. What needs are satisfied? Uh, is that I don't really know what that's necessarily asking.
I guess like the need to remain open, so they need revenue to come in. They need to satisfy customers or else they're not going to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, consumer, I guess,
Like
preferences.
investors maybe, or at
Mhm.
least money.
Yeah,
Their employees to keep working.
Mhm.
that satisfy taste buds. Yeah.
Okay, for the next question, how will they be satisfied? Keeping their quality good. Dogfish, that's like their only, not their only competitive advantage, but their greatest. So they definitely need to stick with that.
Because I feel like if they try and like go and compete with Anheuser, they're going to be nobody at
Yeah.
that point and not have like their own brand because their brand is obviously quality and like the ingredients and taste and stuff like that. So I feel like if they tried to obviously go against that, they'd lose basically the whole company.
I guess kind of just continuing in the direction that they are to keep trying to get a larger outreach.
Yeah, just trying to globalize.
Yeah.
External environment, demographics.
Again,
Not children.
consumers who are of legal drinking age.
Yes. That's what I meant. What I meant. What I meant. I hope he watches this. He might get a few good laughs.
I feel like people who drink like Bud Light and stuff though, like they actually act like they like they're like, yeah, it tastes good. And that I feel like they wouldn't drink smaller brands.
Well, it's this like I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
how
one
to
of
phrase
those.
it.
I'm one of those people. But yeah, I think like the IPAs and stuff taste terrible in my opinion. But
What is that? Are those like the craft ones?
yeah, like the craft beers and stuff. I don't like them.
I forgot.
But you know,
So you're drinking like the water one.
yeah, Bush Light.
Mm.
Yep, yep. Pretty generic.
Mm.
But what were you saying?
I was just saying, oh, like people like you that they're like you're like telling yourself that you like it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Like you're loyal to the brand, but
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Okay, we can move on to socioeconomic.
Yeah.
So definitely not Jackson because they're looking for people that are willing to try new flavors
Yeah.
and unique stuff that you're not going to get from Bud Light. Or probably not. I don't know what they offer.
Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of stick to my thing. Geographic. Like obviously, or I feel like for dogfish, it's obviously local and like the community and stuff like that. But um, also everybody's trying to globalize and like get their beer to everybody. So I feel like it's basically everywhere. That makes, I mean, or everywhere in America, I guess.
Well, they probably have to follow their specific audience. So maybe like certain states that prefer like smaller states, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because I don't even think they sell to every state. Because Yingling, that company, I think they said they were in like 5 states or something.
Yeah.
Consumption patterns.
Consumption patterns.
It's just following like consumer preferences, like obviously what's everybody wanting to drink, what's everybody saying they like, what's everybody saying tastes good. Um, I guess you could say like uh even like you can go with like holidays and like seasons. I guess like I guess for like a summer, obviously I know we're doing dogfish, but like there's like twisted tea that's like good on a beach, like you know what I'm being serious though. You know what I'm talking about? Like St. Patty's Day green beer.
Yeah.
Like yeah, you can do all that. Like I'm sure Dogfish did a green beer on St. Patty's Day.
They did like the pumpkin one.
Yeah. So I feel like following seasons and just like what everybody likes and stuff like that.
But I feel like they would be like the type to not like follow like the trends, you know? Like they would stick
Yeah.
to like
I could see that too. They probably start the trends that Bud Light follows.
Yes. Yeah. They probably come up with it and then none of us really even see it because I mean top three just take it over. Like the caffeine, like basically bought the girl out, like ruined what she was trying to sell, I guess.
I wonder where she is.
I don't know.
Looked up the Instagram. Let me look. Oh yeah. Okay, it was called Moonshot, right?
Oh,
Yeah, that's right.
I couldn't even find the account. Oh wait. It's right here.
because at the end of the movie, wasn't she trying to get bought out? And
Yeah,
they didn't want.
yeah. They only
Oh,
have
that's-
a little over 2,000 followers.
Oh,
Yeah, they ain't doing good.
Let's look at whatever that other one. What? How do you say Anheuser? Anheuser.
Definitely a million, at least.
54K.
That was awful, big time.
But Bud Light has more, and Budweiser have more.
is there like a short name for Anheuser? What are they like actually called?
Because
You know,
they're
I've never heard it until this movie.
it's like they own like Bud Light, Budweiser,
Yeah,
Stella,
and
Art, whatever you say that.
it's basically all the beers you see at a gas station they own besides like Coors Light and Miller.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
didn't
so
Miller and Coors like combine or something? I was confused at that. But they like
I
merged
don't
or
know.
something at
Yeah,
on the movie.
I'm not really sure to be honest.
Last question, perceptual factors.
Yeah, you got anything?
I think it's largely brand loyalty. Because remember when they were doing those quizzes, or I don't even know what you call it, where they put the several beers and
Oh
have people
yeah,
try and everyone got wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I feel like 90% of it is just this brand loyalty that is not really justified, I guess, but I don't know. It's just if you think the commercials are funny or something.
yeah, like it's like kind of like you don't want to admit that like you're wrong. Not that you can be wrong because it's like your preference, but just that like it's not a good beer, like the more popular ones.
Yeah, it's not based on any fact. It's like purely preference.
Yeah.
Brand identity. Definitely not values for the larger companies. But there's definitely like a culture associated with the craft beer companies. They have like their own thing going. Like there was that one beer called like asshole or something. I don't know. It was like some curse word. I don't know. But they definitely have their own culture.
Yep.
I think that's everything.
yeah, I think we got